You're going to enjoy this. You might as well share it. You might as well tag a friend. You might as well get your energy up. You might as well get you something to drink. Get some popcorn. You know what I'm saying? Get buckled in your seat because it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing, 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 amazing. What up? I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. Check it out. We're doing something different today. Earl, Jams Production. What up? What up? What up? What up? I see you. Tanny's Too Smooth. What up? I see you. Majin Cherry. What up? I see you. Ashley. What up? Ashley, I see you. Oh, man. I am Joe Paul. What up, brother? You know how we do it each and every Thursday at 8 p.m. You know I got to, first and foremost, before I do anything, I got to set our healing tones. Gotta sit down, healing tones, healing tones, healing tones, healing tones. Healing tone to my partner, DJ Fresh, get well, my brother. Healing tones to the whole BIG, the whole Wallace family, Miss Wallace, TJ, oh man, Mark Pitts, Wayne Barrow, D-Rock, Little C's, Lil Kim, the whole Junior Mafia. On this day, March 9th, is a historic day in hip-hop, man. We lost a legend, a Brooklyn legend, one of the illest lyricists alive that ever lived. The only Christopher we acknowledge is Wallace. On this day in hip-hop, the Ghetto's Boys released their 5th album. Shout out to, and rest in peace to, Bushwick Bill. Shout out to Scarface. Shout out to Willie D. Shout out to the whole Houston, Texas. Got a couple of happy birthdays. Happy belated birthday to my good friend Terry Woods. Happy birthday today to my good friend LaBaba. LaBaba Mallison, what up? Happy birthday, shout out to my good friend Amber Lee. My little nephew Bow Wow. On the West Coast, my YG, happy birthday. Take it down to New Orleans, C Murder, happy birthday, my brother. To the Midwest, I want to say happy birthday to Chingy, happy birthday. Just like down to I-95, I want to say happy birthday to Young Chris. Young Chris. Philly. But we're going to go right back to New York. We're going to go right to Brooklyn. Happy birthday. Shout out to AZ. Sosa, happy birthday, God. Peace. Yes, indeed. But without further ado, you know what we got to do. Congratulations to Chris Rock, man. You killed that Netflix special. Brooklyn. So without further ado, man, we're going to acknowledge some people that's in the building here. What up, Lady Crawley? What up? I am Joe Paul. Thank you. Dee Wiz is in the building. This guy coming up right now, man, he's a DJ, he's a music professor, he's a music aficionado. He's been my homie for years, you know what I'm saying? Like, making it happen, man, making it happen. So, yo, let's welcome to the show my good friend, DJ Dee Wiz. There you are. We got too much echo going on, man. We echo chambering like
yo. Hold on.
We here.
How's this, Rob?
So listen, guys. Of course, you know I'm always experimenting with something new. So You know, I'm always gonna figure it out. Shouts out to the audience.
How's everything sound, Rob?
Shouts out to my record makers in the building. Rich Nice, what up? A&R Room in the building. What up? What up? What up? What up? What's going on? Welcome, Dee Wiz, DJ Dee Wiz, to Behind the Records, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you hear me, Rob? Can you hear me,
I can hear
Rob?
you loud and clear. Microphone text 1 2. What is this?
We good?
Good.
Dynamite. What it do, Rob?
I just want to let you guys know, you know, I've been rocking with DJs for, you know, damn near all my life, man. And, you know, I was always the guy that giving them plastic, right? AKA vinyl, right?
Yep.
AKA hit records, right? AKA grooves, right? AKA, you know, tools to help them build a shed. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a he shed or a she shed, these guys have put that vinyl together to make you shake your rump, to make you feel like you a natural woman, to make you feel like you on top of the world, give you that energy, give you that courage. You know what I'm saying? In addition to the liquid courage that you were sipping on at the bar, they're giving you that courage to go to that lady and ask her to dance or show the peacock yourself.
Can I add to that, Rob?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so in the 90s, in the era of two-way pages.
Woo!
Yes. When Rob Love was working at Def Jam, you gave me, and I'm sure, like you said, DJs, I'm sure a lot of DJs got two-way pages from you, right? I got mine from you.
Yes.
And never paid. Like, yo, I mean, look, this is over 10 years ago. How did that happen, Rob, where all the DJs that, you know, you guys were affiliated with, we got blessed with two-way pages and none of us had a bill? We could talk about it now. How'd that happen?
See, you know, those are the early stages of negotiations, right? And partnerships, right? Strategic partnerships. That's what it was all about, right? So with us partnering with Motorola, like one of the first entertainment companies to partner with Motorola, we did a deal that we was going to seed these two-way style writers, right? We were like at Def Jam, we were the first music company to actually use the BlackBerry, even before two-way pages. Because our first two-way pages, you only could select one character at a time.
Facts.
Right. And with that said, you know, you had to be creative, right? You had to be creative. If you had to send messages and subs, and you know, you had to like use the 8, turn the 8 around to create the infinity. Like, it's different things that we figured out how to use with the characterization.
Right. 4 was an H upside down.
Characterization of that keyboard, right? And then, of course, you know, we did some product seeding in the Montel Jordan video. That's probably one of the first places that you saw the gray two-way flip style writer that you can attach to your belt and flip over.
Yeah.
And we did a promotion with Hot 97, and we were giving them away, right? And this is why I got to give credit to the DJ. And shout out to DJ Clue. Because I really don't know how he did this, but every two-way pager we gave out on Hot 97, it had Clue's contact information in it. He was the only person that anybody knew.
Wait. Like, the minute you gave it away free, like the first contact in it was Clue?
He was the first and only contact.
Oh, that's hot.
I don't know. Like, Clue was on some old next level.
It's called a hack.
Yeah, he was hacking before anybody knew what a hack was.
You know, okay, let's stay there with Clue, DJs, and hacking, right? I actually said this to somebody just the other day. I'm going to show you how important the DJ is on the planet Earth. Not in music. Now, you see all that stuff that you have behind you, all of accolades and stuff like that. The DJ is the one that hacked, knowing how to take something, a unit, and put two turntables together and say, you know what? I'm going to get this one particular beat inside this record and loop it and make it go around and around and around. And, you know, Kool Herc called the merry-go-round, right? And go around and around. That's a hack, number one. Number two, the DJ is the one that went inside New York City power grid. The system went up there and figured out how to take wires, Rob. Wires. And put them, string them down the pole. A dangerous job, by the way. That's a hack, Rob. Rob, that's a hack. And because of that, hip-hop was born. That was done by a DJ. That's the DJs. That's the DJs. The DJs changed the world. Why? Because hip-hop runs the world. And if it wasn't for the hack of getting the power from New York City power grid from those poles, that's a hack. That's stealing. And everything that you got behind you right now is because DJs went and hacked New York City power system. Now you can applause that, brother. Yeah! The DJ! But that's a fun fact, but it's real talk, though.
Absolutely it is, man.
That's real talk.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is, man. And I'm so glad that as a young adolescent, I was able to witness that, right? So if not for nothing, I learned a lesson in electricity, right? And I did not know that those light poles had sockets.
Add on.
And that was a surprise to me because, you know, it was a plate there with a lock, and I never thought to, you know, to pry it open to see what's inside. You know what I mean? Like,
wait, you're saying that's how they got the power?
Yeah.
See, it's another level, Rob.
On the base of the lamppost, a street light, there was a little panel down there, and it was locked. And in the panel, when you open the panel, it had a socket in there, so you can run an extension cord and plug in and get the juice.
Rob, you're one of your next behind the records, bro. You got to bring on a DJ that physically went up there.
I mean,
the early 70s. Physically, yeah, I'm the one. Yeah, I climbed that pole and I did this, and we're the ones that discovered. That's a hack, bro. That's a hack.
Oh, no question, no question. And we've had Grandmaster Cash on here. We've had Kid Capri on here.
Right.
We've had.
I don't know if they physically were doing that. I don't know. Maybe Kaz and Capri physically did climb up the pole. I don't know.
Listen, man.
You get my point? I'm talking about that guy doing that. I did it. I climbed, and I could have gotten electrocuted. That person. Did you get my point?
I applaud you for your courage, and we appreciate your service. We appreciate your service.
You get the point, though. Like,
Absolutely.
You know, and it was the thought of that. That's like. We can go inside there and we could, like, you know, tap into this, that, and third. And someone's like, no, you can't. Someone had to say, no, you can't. And then someone else said, Rob, what? Yes, I can.
But see, that's why you guys are so brilliant, right? And everybody can't be a DJ. And I know that technology has been catching up to your bandwidth.
Right.
With Serato, the new Serato, that you can take all of the stems apart on a record. And you know, the turntables without needles,
right? And that's actually not catching up. I mean, again, the reason why those things are made is because we were already doing those things. Right. That's the reason why the companies did it. You know, a good friend of mine, DJ Vern.
Shout out to DJ Vern, man. Word, that's
right?
My guy.
Right?
Yes.
DJ Vern actually knows the first person that, like, made the first mixer, and he rigged it. It was like, you got to have him on here. And then he told me how, see, I'm a little younger than those guys, how I forgot the name of the big music store in Manhattan, GLS or whatever, I believe. One of them, how they actually took the patent from that and went and made the first mixer. It's such a story, bro. It's such a story. And those things, you know, Rob, they just happen all the time. You know what I thought about today when I was outside? Speaking of stuff like this, hacks and stuff. Do you remember the term ebonics?
Of course.
You don't hear that term anymore. You know why? Because everyone now is using the terms that ebony phonics. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you don't hear the term ebonics no more because every culture now is using ebony phonics. But before ebony phonics it was like, oh, well, they're talking ebonics. They're talking ebonics. But now you don't even hear that term anymore. And it actually goes along with the same, philosophy or the thought pattern of the DJ. It started here and how it evolves to something else. Because as you know, you're old enough to know that, it was demonized. The DJ and stealing power, from Manhattan, from the city, or from the Bronx. It was demonized. But now, of course, looking at all the accolades and looking at every single commercial tied down you or, Target or any big brand that wants to promote something, they're gonna have some form of hip hop somewhere inside there. It could even be just the terminologies that they're using, ebony phonics or ebonics. They may use the term dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's ebonics, but
Of course.
it's ripped away now. Now it's everyone talk.
Ralphie, what up, Ralphie? What up, Dr. Catrice Austin? Salute, salute, salute. Hey, yo, Ralphie, I really need you to join at some point in time, my brother. We need to chop it up, man. Yeah, but to your point, D, like, just even if we look at D Nice, right? How he just constantly kept pushing the envelope, constantly kept the hunger and the thirst to learn more about how things work, why things work, and how he can improve things, right? How can he make it easier? How can he create more hacks, right? And
correct.
Eventually, he put himself into a position where, he is, considered, he makes the Forbes list,
right?
You know what I mean? And that just further inspires the culture to let them know that there's no glass ceiling on the opportunity that you can do when you got a creative mind. Right?
Yeah.
Because I remember having the first tutorial of Serato in my office.
Uh-huh.
And quite a few DJs
wasn't with it.
Funkmaster Flex, Mr. C were holdouts, complete holdouts.
More than that.
I need vinyl. I'm not playing no flash drive. I'm not playing no digital, even Chuck Chill Out. I ain't playing space music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not ready for the George Jetson era, right? But it was coming, right? So at Universal, and I convinced the entire Universal music group, we can't continue to make these plastic vinyls because we make them, we spend money to ship them. The DJ move his address, don't want nobody to know where he's at. Somebody else is getting the records. We got to reship them to another address, and then we got to pay for returns. So it was becoming too costly for us to continue to do it in that configuration. If we can make one file and share it with everyone and not have to manufacture the vinyl, not have to absorb the shipping and the return costs, we save money and we can spend money in different directions.
I'm going to jump in right where you are, and you talk about Flex, C, and, myself and many of us. Okay, so during that time, Rob, oh boy, that's such a big time. We went from vinyl to CDs first before we went to Serato, right? And a lot of us were most people I think were on board with the CDs before Serato, because it was just a step away from bringing these big cases on planes, nightclubs, and things of that nature. And for a traveling DJ like myself, especially in the 90s, I mean, traveling with these big cases is costly. It's heavy, it's time consuming, etc. And also when you're going out of the country, they didn't want to see that stuff. Coming in with these big cases, you get held up at customs, etc. So, to your point of Serato, a lot of us did come on late with that. I did as well. But the thing about it that we kind of did like is that it was going back to vinyl. What DJs, Rob, I'm telling you now, it was computer. And being that it was computer, we were like, I don't trust that. Macs weren't what they are now, Rob. PCs, laptops weren't what they are now. When, Serato first came out. Or when Virtual DJ first came out, which is before Serato. So
it was what was it called? It was called Scratch.
Yeah. Scratch Live. That's what Serato is.
Scratch Live.
Yeah, that's what Serato is. But prior to that, it was Virtual DJ, and again, it was computer based. So that's why we weren't, But computers now, as we know, run the world. Computers are very, very reliable, and I'm happy. I'm glad that technology is where it is. I could bring 20,000 records with me. You know what I'm saying, Rob? I can bring 50,000 records with me on the spot now, as opposed to when I was DJing in the clubs. As you know, 6 cases of records, 8 cases of records, and that's not. I don't even think that's 1,000 records. I don't even know if that's. Yeah, I don't know if that's 1,000 or 2,000 records that I just mentioned. As a matter of fact, it's not.
Who was your help? Who was on the team? Like when you had to carry crates, and you're not a tall guy,
no.
Right? And you're not a big guy at all.
Yeah,
right?
Not brolic, right?
Who, like, you know what I'm saying? I would see you in the DJ booth and I'll be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Dee Wiz is killing it.
Right.
Like, at first I thought you was like a little youngster because you just look so young.
Right.
I was like, did somebody check his ID? Why is he even in the club? Like,
is that what you first thought when you first saw me, Rob, for real?
Who's this kid?
Love it.
So, like, who was your team? Who was the support system that you had?
Right.
In the carry your crate?
Right. Okay. So. Going into clubs, I'm from Long Island, so my boys from Long Island came with me, like literally. Driving behind a wheel for me is a bad thing because, Rob, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, I got into many car accidents, bro. Many.
Oh, man.
And yeah, so my boys from Long Island just start literally like just traveling with me. My boy, rest in peace, Ozzy, traveled pretty much everywhere with me, man. And, yeah, that my crew from Long Island traveled with me. Going to Hot 97 back then, which is, the time when when I met you. And not only that, even the two-way, I got the gray and burgundy Def Jam jacket from you as well. What was the 20th anniversary? Am I right?
Yeah. Yep. With the turntable on the back. Yep.
That's right. Yep. That's right. The 20th anniversary Def Jam jackets. Def Jam, man, treated DJs right. Def Jam did.
Did you ever come to DJ? Did you ever come to DJ Pickup Day?
No.
You ever come to pick up vinyl?
Because remember, I was on Hot 97 back then, and you guys would come there every day, and I had my own bin. So for DJs back then, a bin at a radio station, if you was a radio jock, you had a bin. Dr. Dre, Scribble, Funkmaster Flex, Mr. C, Dee Wiz, Coco Chanel, etc. And June Balloons, the Rob Loves, Sincere Thompsons, all these guys would come. You guys had all access to anywhere that you ever want to go. So you guys would always put in, these records in our bin. So yeah, I never had to come to make a record pickup from you guys, but I had a record pool with Dr. Dre. I think, as you remember, me and Dr. Dre had our own record pool. So you remember? Our Dre. So let's get
to Dr. Dre from Long Island. From Yo MTV Raps.
Yeah, our Dre, East Coast Dre, our Dre. So right. Remember, we had a record pool. So we would get boxes from you guys, and Rob. Man,
okay.
I miss those days. That brings camaraderie, bro.
Okay. All right. So, the statute of limitation is over, right? As far as you get in any trouble for
Talk about it.
any record pool activity. Right?
Oh, you about to
So
shout me out right now. Oh, go ahead.
ask this question.
Bad connection.
Hold on, I gotta prepare this right.
Oh man.
What exactly were y'all doing with all those records?
Oh, we had DJs.
And were you giving the DJs just one copy
Negative.
or
Dubs. This was ran by DJs, Rob. So
and the DJs had to pay a membership.
come on,
right?
man. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And if they were late on their payment, right?
Right.
What was the repro process?
Oh, we didn't have anything. Okay, so I'll tell you. No, I'm sure other pools did that. This was ran by a DJ. I mean, Dr. Dre was on Hot 97. I'm a DJ. I was on Hot 97. We're DJ enthusiasts. So I'm sure, yeah, like you're saying, I see Dr. Catrice, she's like, shh. Yeah, I'm sure, bro. Yeah, back then, other pools were doing that. The only thing that we asked for was feedback so we can give it to you guys to justify why we were doing what we were doing. We had feedback sheets that I think Sincere actually even told us to do that. We had feedback sheets, Rob, and I think that you guys requested that from us, that we gave back to Universal, to whomever that we got records from. Yeah, we had feedback sheets, bro. I mean, we weren't, just businessmen.
So if
no,
I was
we're
giving
DJs.
if me or the company that I work for,
Yep.
Def Jam, was giving you 30 single records,
Yeah.
probably within a month or 2 month span, right?
Yep.
When do you have time to write out all of those feedback sheets and send them in?
I don't write them out. The DJs do. So when a DJ get their packets, they have a feedback sheet that's blank, and they have to fill out what record they got. And of course, I mean, over 20 years ago, I forgot exactly what all the questions were, but would you play this in the club, on the radio, etc. The typical questions that you guys, or I remember when I was on another pool that they would ask us certain feedbacks in order to download a song. They would have feedback questions before you even able to download the song. So yeah, we had feedback sheet regarding what they got. They would hand us the feedback sheet. We would hand it to you guys, to the company.
Right, and then that also created the playlist process, right? So each record pool, instead of sending all of those sheets in, you put, these are the top 10 records that are performing based off my guys' general consensus.
Right. I guess that's how, when you guys get the sheets, that's how you formulate your data. On our end, we didn't do that. We just handed them in.
Right. So in order for us to consume it and understand what was working, and this is like before testing a record, this is before, the internet, right? So we didn't have the luxury of Shazam or BDS or media base. They still don't really have, well, they have it now through the Serato system, where you can monitor what DJs play in a playlist.
Right.
Right. And then you can, you can generate a report. So Record Pool started doing this playlist situation, right? Which we all know playlisting today is Tidal, Spotify. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sound Exchange.
Yeah.
So we were actually setting the ground for future innovation.
Right.
So what have being a DJ and going through that process and that journey you took have taught you the ultimate life lesson? Like, what can you share with someone that would be interested in now getting a controller
Right.
and a laptop with files,
Right.
of downloads.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them?
Uh, okay, that's two different. What did I get from it, or what advice would I give an upcoming
Two-part
DJ?
question.
Right.
What do you get from it? That's a lifelong teachable moment.
Right.
And what would you share or recommend that if someone is interested in taking that path that they should do?
All right. First question: what did I get from it? Rob, I'm not gonna play with you, man. I got a life lesson of learning people, man, and I'm gonna take my time with this answer, bro.
Hold on, man. Wait, that right there deserves an applause. Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna take my time with this one because I'm gonna discover more things about that question and answer as I talk this through. Music is emotional. It's 100% emotional, right? So I, as a DJ, so I'm in my DJ spot and I'm looking at people come in a place, venue, club, stadium, if it's a concert, whatever the place or the venue is. I'm looking at them come in, and they don't even know that I'm staring at them. They don't know I'm looking at every move that they do. And I'm going to come back to that in a second, but I'm literally looking at the female crew walk in, go to the coat check first, then go to the bathroom. I'm looking at the dudes come in and go straight to the bar. I'm looking at all of this stuff, right? So you get to learn people. You get to learn how people move, right? And then within 1 hour or so, Rob, of this type of activity, they start to loosen up, get their feet wet, and things of that nature. And you start to see, they're starting to spread their wings. You get to learn personalities, and you get to see also the style of music that I play, whatever I play, depending on who responds to what, I know who you are. I know what you like. I know some things, not everything, but I know, I have a pretty good grasp on your personality because I'm watching the way you move to music. If you're celebrating something, if you are, yeah, I see someone says there's an echo on it, Rob. You may want to turn down one of your devices.
I think that's on your side, but
Everything's
how's that
beautiful.
now?
I have earphones on. So nothing's coming out my speakers. Zero. Nothing at all. I have earphones on.
I think it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. So, I'm looking at all this stuff happen, brother, and you get to learn personalities. Those people most likely they're going to come back next week, the next month. You get to learn these people. You get to meet these people, and a lot of times they'll share drinks with you. They'll share experiences with you. They'll share problems with you. I've met so many people, literally, brother, around the world, man, that I became friends with. I met you, at Club Envy. You came to me, hey, bro, you introduced yourself, Rob. I mean, I'm talking like almost 30 years ago. It's 2023, almost 30 years ago, bro. Dr. Catrice Austin, I learned who she was through Prasad Brother parties. I'd probably say a good 75 to 80% of the people I interact with right now, Rob, are from the music and entertainment business. DJing is a big, man, I mean, I think DJing even more important to MCs, and please, MCs don't kill me. And I got MC Hakeem, fat shout to Channel Live. The DJ, man, you're there for such a long time, especially in a club setting. You really, really get a chance to learn people, Rob. You probably see me like just looking up in the sky or looking up. Because there's so many experiences that I have, and it's just overwhelming. I can't even think about the amount of people I've met globally. I've DJed, it's just taking me around the world, bro. What do I tell a young person? Like I said, that other answer I told you was going to be such a big deal. Jeez, man. Get a controller, learn everything about music. Not about DJing, about music. Because DJing from the Cool Herc, the Grandmaster Kaz's, who was a DJ first, the Grandmaster Flashes, the Busy Bees, the Love Bugs, the Hollywood, one of my fathers, like one of my like uncles in this. Those guys weren't DJing hip hop records. They were DJing music. So you would hear David Bowie in Rolling Stones. In the same party, Rob, you would hear James Brown, bro. You know what I'm saying? You would hear Parliament Funkadelic in the same exact party. You would hear Casey and the Sunshine Band. You get my point? So I would tell a young DJ, I can hear you got the echo going on. Cut your again. I got headphones on, so you're cutting something up on your side. Oh, my speakers are off. If you hear it, Rob. Woof.
Oh, let me try something. Hold tight.
Yeah, I'll keep talking. So anyway, yeah, I would tell a young DJ, learn more about music. I do see a lot of young people, not just DJs, and definitely not picking on them. It's like, this is it, and only this is it, and only this is it, and there's nothing outside of this. Period. Hey, look, man, I can go into stories about being inside producers' studios when they were making records. When Leaders of the New School, when Sob Story was made, like, that's a classical record. I remember when he was looping the background. That's the background. Of course, I'm off key, but that's a classical record, But he made a hip hop record out of that. I was there when he looped up Sob Story. You gotta know about music outside of just. I would tell it to a young DJ, any DJ under 25, 32 and under, whatever. Learn more about music.
Well, I think that's a great answer, and I want to just go back to the first part of your answer about understanding the environment and understanding the experience that people are going through when we came to Envy, or when we came to Lot 61 or Lotus or wherever it was that you were spinning, you know what I mean? Like, and you peeking over outside of the DJ booth and looking at the crowd, right? So first and foremost, you got to look. In order for you to drive, you got to see the road, right? And while you're on the road, you got to watch the signs, right? The traffic signs, the stop signs, the pedestrian, walking in the middle of the street, any obstacles that come in your path as you drive, right? Just to be alert. One of those same attributes and that description that you give is the same formula that Howard Schultz used for Starbucks, right? So when you go to get a coffee, they know if you a latte or if you a venti, or you know what I'm saying, they understand their customer, right? They know the person that's going to come and get the caramel macchiato and turn around and leave. They know the customer that's going to open a laptop and be there for 3 hours. They know the customer that's going to get, a pastry along with their tea, right? So it's the same thing that you do. So because you're in control of the environment as it relates to the vibe, right? You're the vibe controller. So you look and see reactions of what you play, right? And that way you know what next record to come with that's going to keep them in that mode or elevate their experience.
Agreed. I want to jump in and give a story. Stories are always good.
Love stories. By the way, this is Behind the Records. This is home of the real stories told firsthand, just so you know.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us and if you never watched the show. So
okay. Dee Wiz. I didn't grow up a hip-hop dude. That's me. I grew up a heavy metal headbanger. I grew up listening to Kiss. I grew up listening to Ozzy Osbourne, Van Halen, Motley Crue, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Jimi Hendrix, you name it. All those, anything that had to do with hard rock, that was my thing, right?
All right.
So let's
Stop
take that
right
and
there.
put that on the
So
side.
you feel real comfortable.
Of course. Okay. Now I said heavy metal. You know what I'm saying? So check this out.
I thought I was gonna see you jump up and down and turn around or something. I don't know.
Oh no. See, so now, no. But check this out. This is the thing about music. I grew up listening to, going to the Kiss Dynasty tour, like 1978. You know, I saw Motley Crue Shout the Devil tour in 1984, and you know, Van Halen. Like you name it, I've been there. Ozzy, I've seen them all. All of them. Head Bangers Ball, that's me. So, take that and put it to the side. I also grew up going to Juilliard School of Music in Manhattan. So, what's that about? So, I learned Dvorak, Beethoven, Sibelius, Mozart, Haydn, Tchaikovsky, you name it, any composer from the 1600s, Baroque, medieval, romantic, and classical. Those are the four of the four symphonic forms of music. So I grew up also studying. Now let's take all of my heavy metal. Like you see those drums back there. Like that's my first. Well, I was told that piano's my first love, but it's my first memory of being alive, knowing music. Drums were my first. I don't have a memory of not playing drums, of being alive. All right. So boom. So we take all that. We take all of this heavy metal. I'm talking about metal, bro. Like again, during Ozzy Osbourne's time of biting bats' heads. Yes, I was around during that time. Like I love metal during that time. And again, during the same exact time, I was going to Juilliard on Saturdays to study the great composers, you know, of the symphonic era. Again, you know, Dvorak is probably my favorite, but I love Sibelius and, you know, a lot of great ones as well. So on the weekends when I came home, I had this DJ said also that during that time, you know, you had Tila Rock, It's Yours. You had then later on LL Cool J, the Run DMC era. So all of that stuff, my brother, is like what shaped me early in my years, right? So at the same time, being I'm a drummer, I also was infatuated and in love with big band jazz music. I think my first musical memory is a guy named Buddy Rich. Buddy Rich, big band, you know, is a jazz drummer. I think that may be my first music memory is Buddy Rich. Yeah, because I discovered him before Kiss Meets the Phantom came out. So, you know, again, all of this stuff I was just eating raw. I mean, eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. You name it, anything to do with music. Again, there was the urban stuff hadn't started. You know, I'm a 70s baby. So, you know, the first rap record to come out, you know, 78, 79, that's later on, brother. I'm talking about all of my, you know, young elementary school years, bro. I was eating all of that stuff up. So when it came time to apply that to DJing, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't have the confidence to take all the other stuff and apply it to DJing because it was considered white boy shit, right? And a lot of cats from our, you know, community, it was like, nah, that's that white boy shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. Period. So one of my uncles in this business, Biz Markie, the diabolical one, you know, Dougie Fresh, I call him like, you know, my pops in this business, and Biz, I call my uncle because, you know, well, Hollywood did the same thing for me too. But, you know, those guys like physically took me physically and did things for me. Like Biz physically picked me up, used to take me record shopping. He physically introduced me to big record collectors in the Bronx, guys like Wolfie, Sting. He physically he took me and drove me to places and whatnot. So I used to open up for Biz every now and then. Me, another guy from Long Island, DJ Bilal, of course.
Yes.
DJ Bilal as well. And, we're like Biz sons, Smooth Denali, DJ Diamond, we're like what's considered like Biz sons. We're all like Long Island DJs, and all of us at one time or another was under his tutelage, So back to the story of music. Now watch this. So I had done a Tanqueray tour with Biz. We had just got back home that same day, and Biz, remember he used to live in Maryland, and he would drive up to New York. So God bless Monty as well, his manager. I'm sure you remember Monty,
Yeah, yep.
Right? So Biz was driving up to New York. He called me and said, "Hey, I need you to go downtown to Soho to open up for me. I'm running late." He said, "Get there." And he said, back to this. He said, "Yo, start playing open music. Play that white boy shit." I was like, all right. And, at that time, this is way before what's called open format DJing was out. It's before DJ AM and all this was called open format DJing. So I'm doing, the regular stuff. Biz gets there and he knows my musical background. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing?" So Biz takes over and he starts playing Rod Stewart, If You Think I'm Sexy. He starts playing Queen. He starts playing these other records that, of course, I know and the people that they're new, but I know my DJ peer group didn't know. And I was running at that time in Envy days with my DJ peer group. I was on Hot 97 during that time. So a lot of stuff was urban based. But me, I'm not urban based. I'm a music guy. I'm not a DJ hip. I'm a music guy. So I'm seeing Biz. Again, this is before everyone started playing Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine, before everyone started playing, Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, and these records. I saw him playing soft rock. Billy Joel is soft rock. Elton John, that's soft rock. That's considered classic rock. That's not hard rock or heavy metal. That's considered, classic rock. I see him playing classic rock. Elton John, Billy Joel, stuff that, again, that was my shit growing up. And you know what, Rob? He gave me permission to be myself. He gave me permission. Me seeing Biz play this stuff gave me permission. Yo, D, you could throw some of this shit in there, D. And again, I swear to you, man, this is way before, these Guns N' Roses and all these other tunes are now incorporated inside an urban set. It gave me permission, brother, to just be myself. And from there, I really did start going hard, man, with incorporating just everything that's about me, all my musical experiences, which really did set me apart, So I would tell a young DJ, go listen to music. Don't listen to people saying that Kanye West is a genius. Because, again, if Kanye West is a genius, what do you call Mozart, who wrote pieces for a symphony of 100 instruments and more? You know what I'm saying, Rob? Like, think about it. So you have, like, you've been to, I'm sure, I don't know, a symphony or a orchestra, go look at an orchestra. That's those concertos, those songs. Those are composed by one person, brother. Those movements. There's 4 movements in a classical or Baroque or medieval concerto or symphony. There's 4 movements, and most likely the movements go from like anywhere from 7 minutes to 10 minutes or 15 minutes each movement. And most parts don't repeat each other. So if you got an entire symphony that's playing, my brother, or that, it's an hour-long piece. When you go to the symphony, you're going to sit for an hour long. It's an hour-long piece. So if you got one person composing music that runs for an hour, if Someone that's sampling music for 3 minutes is genius. What do you call that? What do you call that? What's Wes Montgomery? What's Thelonious Monk in that case? Who made up chords? Thelonious Monk played notes that weren't even in the scale of the song that they were playing. He played notes that were out of scale, bro. They made up colors. If this is genius, what do you call that? What's Art Blakey? Who got a gun put to his head and said, "Yo, play drums." Before that, he never played drums. What do you call Art Blakey if that's genius? Who is he? And I can go on and on and on about, learning music. And I told you I wanted to talk music.
Yeah, but do you think that that's what's missing? Because we got some young artists on here. We got, Amanda _MC. We got Official Thailand on here. We got Black Isis on here. We got some producers on here. Like I'm a percussionist. I started off playing the drums. I just always loved the beat, and the beat would always create my rhythm for me in my mind, right? But I never took the time to read sheet music. And I thought that reading the sheet music, that I didn't need to read the sheet music until I was put in a situation where, okay, we need you to jump in on this jam session and here's the music. We need you to play these notes. And I'm like, can I hear a reference? No. One drummer get up, you sit down, and you pick up where you left off at. And I was completely lost.
How did that make you feel?
Horrible.
So did you do something about it? Did you go and say, you know what, I think I need to take some lessons?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. At that point, I really realized how significant reading sheet music and understanding notes were for musicians. I can play by ear. I hear it once, I can play it. Or I can play a vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you gave the drummer some, I would give it back to you.
Right. So all of us, this is my thing. Me and Dougie Fresh go back and forth about this.
Yeah, tell me how you met Dougie and what is the Dougie Fresh story, because that's interesting to me as well.
It is interesting. The Dougie Fresh record is the first hip hop record I ever bought in my life. Remember, crowd around, everybody crowd around. It's the first hip hop record I ever bought in my life, bro. And to come to be a part of his team, a person that teaches me, it's just, it's surreal. But I'll tell you how I met him and how it came to be. So I in the 90s, well, back to Long Island, I grew up in Westbury, where there were these brothers that you're familiar with called the Passard Brothers. Now the Passard Brothers are, I would probably say,
Erwin and Michael, right?
Come on, man, of course, the twins. The Passard Brothers, I'd probably say, are the guys that brought urban marketing to corporate America. I'd probably say that. And in the early 90s, you didn't have those type of commercials. They paired me and Dougie Fresh up. So what we know now today is the Atlantis, over in Bahamas. Yeah, 91 or so. That's when I met Doug for the first time. And it just, the first time I met him was, I was DJing. He came and grabbed the mic, and we just started doing our thing together. And that same night, we spoke until the sun came up about everything under the sun, about, women, what he was going through, at the time. You know what I'm saying? What I was going through at the time. We spoke about everything outside of music, bro. And I just knew, Rob, when you meet someone, bro, you just know you got a connection with them, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't explain it. There's some people, you have a sense. You can sense that there's a connection with this person, and you may not even know what it's about. And I love that. I love that time. You know what I'm saying? I love when, and I'll tell you, I'll actually say to a person, I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Like, we met, I don't know, but I know it's for something, and I'm gonna continue to pursue our relationship. I'm gonna continue to pursue whatever we got going on until, whatever's to come to be to be. And Doug is a similar person when it comes to theory, philosophy, and and things that come in the philosophical world. He's like, kind of like have a very similar approach that I do. About things are not a coincidence. We're energetic people. We love energy. And it just came out to be there. He is a music lover also outside of hip hop, so we can have those music conversations with a lot of things. He's a music lover, and I am attracted to people that are music lovers. I'm attracted to that, bro. Yeah, music lovers for me, we could talk all day. So that's where I'm at. That's how I met Doug. That's how our relationship, and pretty much every single relationship I have in a business, it is a music relationship. It's a music one.
Well, let me slide back really quick and talk about the Prasad brothers really quick because their events, right? And you said it right. They were like the first
Yeah.
team to kind of bring corporate America into the streets, right?
Yeah.
Or into an urban space. I would say I wouldn't even really say streets, into an urban space.
That's right.
And you primarily was like their DJ for most of their events.
Yeah.
If not all of the events.
Mm-hmm.
But you stayed on brand, right?
Yeah.
You wasn't like, you were respectable. You were, polite. You were, what I'm saying? Like, you kept the same Prasad brothers vibe.
Yes.
And energy, right? So it was easy to come to you and say, "Yo, Dee Wiz, I know you and your set, but you need to hear this new LL Cool J record." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you get a chance to work it in to your mix tonight,
right,
I would appreciate it. Right.
Right.
No hovering over you. No sending sparklers and bottles in the hole and sticking you up to play the record. It was all very above board and classy and respectful. That's why, what I'm saying, I never had a problem. Even if you didn't get a chance to play the record
right,
that I gave you on the spot because you'd never heard it first and you don't know how it fits into the environment, into your flow.
Right.
You would at least get back to me and say, "Yo, I listened to that record, and the next week I got you. Come such so and so time. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with this record. I'm gonna sandwich it, a brand new record that nobody never heard before.
Right.
I'm gonna sandwich it between a familiar record.
That's how you do it, Rob.
So it doesn't disrupt the
That's how you do
flow
it.
of the party.
You know that, and that's why you never bug DJs. But some adolescent kind of like promoters don't know that. I have an embarrassing story about what you're talking about new records, sandwiching them and everything. So Envy, the height of Envy.
Not DJ Envy. Envy, the nightclub that
Spring
was
Street.
in the lower west side of Manhattan.
Soho on Spring Street.
In Soho. Yep.
So I'm DJing at Envy, and like you said, Rob, all you guys would come there. June Balloon was Bad Boy, main record promoter back then, who had relationships with all of the DJs also back then. But June Balloon also had, Bad Boy had their underlings that would, I'm not using that term in a bad way, they would have others, understudies, I would say, that would come and kind of set the stage. So Now you remember what kind of club Envy was? Sexy. It wasn't the Tunnel. It was a different vibe. So, and all of the artists would come there with you guys. You guys would bring on the artist that had a new record coming out. Before anyone knew who Carl Thomas was, Carl Thomas' first record is a mid-tempo to slow jam. I Wish. Rob, so let me put you in a position of you got to promote I Wish, a mid-tempo to slow jam record to a club DJ. Now, you know what kind of DJ I am, Rob. I'm that's me. You know what I'm saying? All night. And at the time, the other side of town, Flex, who is also So imagine bringing I Wish and asking, a DJ to play that at that time. The 1 o'clock time and 12. Anytime past 12 o'clock, you asking the DJ to play I Wish for the first time. Like, no one heard it. You know how you guys would get the right labels, promo records. I remember putting it in my headphones, Rob. Carl Thomas was behind. I said this is an embarrassing story. I didn't believe in the record. I didn't play it immediately. And I remember looking back, and I remember Carl Thomas, like, his head, like, down, like, oh, man. Because remember, he was trying to get there, So it's not like he didn't have that confidence to come out, like, yo, you know who I am or whatever. He was trying to be that. And I didn't see that record. I said it's an embarrassing story, because, again, I think that's probably the first record or only record that made it through like that. That's a slow jam to mid-tempo record. You promoted many records. You tell me what record that you've ever promoted throughout all the years that was even close to a mid-tempo to slow jam that you had to go and put into a party DJ's hands, Rob. And I have another question after that. What was the hardest record you ever had to promote?
Wow. Well, wow.
Yeah, I missed on it, bro. I missed.
I would, my younger self, I would make sure that I had something else happening to distract them from the tempo change.
See, there we go. See, tempo. You know what time it is.
Whether it's for the next 15 minutes, we're gonna buy all the ladies a drink, and we want you to listen to this record. That's for you, ladies. And I would have the party kind of transition into this other experience, and then go back to party.
It's easy to say to do that. And as you know, if you're in 10, you're at 10, and you got, do you want to paint freaking Envy for you? Like you got Jay Norris down there at the VIP with, whomever he's with, and you have like Allen Iverson coming through. You got behind me, you got the tap dance kid getting, like, bro, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not happening. Not at that time. And like, like I said, it's an embarrassing story, man. Like, I didn't see it with the Benjamins at that time being what it was. Come on.
To be perfectly honest, I would
be fair.
I would not have put myself or my artists in that situation.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Because I would have enough wherewithal
to
know and understand that we can't kill the vibe of the party.
Thank you. Yeah. Well,
you can't kill the vibe
and real
of the
talk,
party. Now,
I don't know how that record made it through, but it did. It made it through the party vibe, bro.
It was a classic record, but again, and I'll give you an example. You asked me the second part of that question.
Hardest.
Asked me what was the toughest record.
Yeah.
Right? And shout out to Method Man and Redman.
No! Don't say it. How High Part 2?
Rock Wilder record.
Oh, I heard them talking about that.
The Rock Wilder record. Even Meth had to come and apologize to me because he was like, yo, I didn't think that you would get this record. And still to this day, they cannot do a show
Right.
without ending their show
I agree.
with the tones.
Yeah.
And Redman
Agreed.
saying, "Oh my God," and then that beat drop.
So you were there. Now I know this is about me, but I want to ask you because I've seen was on Math Hoffa. One of us, I don't if Rock or if Metz told the story on how Red was like, "Yo, man." I think they didn't believe in that beat or something like that. I think it was Met.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've had Rockwilder on Behind the Records before, and he talks about that. You know, and
Who didn't believe in it? Was it Rock that didn't
which
believe in it, or was it the rappers that didn't believe in the record?
I don't even think that they believed in the record when they even recorded it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and they were like, "Yo, Rock got to step it up. He got to step it up."
Because how the record started off.
Yeah.
Right? For a minute and a half, you got this other experience before you even get to the breakdown part.
Right.
You got these tones. Beep, 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 beep. And you're like, yo, how can I play this?
Right.
Like, I can't play this. So what I had to do is I had to create the narrative of you got to lead with the breakdown. You got to lead with the instrumental of the breakdown first, then come back with the lyrics,
Right.
then go back to the beginning with the tone.
Right.
Because you had to build up to it.
Yeah, and I even saw Matt talking about, in the beginning when he first starts rapping, it's just and there's no drum, there's no snare drum in it. Microphone checker, and he says like Rock was like, "Nah, man, that's not where you're supposed to start rhyming that." And Matt was like, "Nah, leave it there." You know what I'm saying? It was like some like experiment type shit, and look, the first man, I gotta say this to Rock. Look, when that record came out, I think already Jay-Z's record was already out. Prior to that or not, was Jay-Z's record. Throw Your Hands Up. Was that out before the Rockwilder? Because he was hot during that time. Like during that time, those records and Redman came out with Let's Get Dirty. Like Jesus. I don't
Shout
see how
DJ Cool on that one for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's my boy.
But
I don't see how. Oh, Queen Deneen, she was at Hot 90. Deneen, Rob, at
absolutely.
Hot 97. The Woes.
Queen Deneen.
The Womack at Hot. And again, I don't see how anyone thought that record. I don't know what the beef was. When I see these guys talk about that record, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, that record almost did not happen. That record, like, it was so many people. Like, Meth had to come in my office and apologize to me because he didn't think that record was going that he didn't think that I could take that record and make that record pop in the club.
Right. No, that was at one time. That was probably my 1 o'clock record, bro. You said to this record, I can't play a hip hop set without that record.
That record went from being played 8 o'clock when people were walking in,
right,
to the last record of the night that got everybody hyped.
Right.
And it was because I had to educate the DJs. Because mind you, this was a different sounding record for them. They were used to getting that burgundy and gray label with the tone on it. And as soon as they put it down on that vinyl, it went.
Right.
This was different.
And that was a takeoff from this sound. Yeah. That was a takeoff from this sound. Yeah.
And had to build up.
Yes.
So I had to convince them to reverse engineer the process and play it from the instrumental, then bring the lyrics in, and then stop it and then play it from the beginning.
Right. Right. Yeah, that record was a win. That's a win. That's a win. That's a win. Um, let me. It's interesting when it comes to that because, I mean, you're right. Statute limits is over. Were you ever not confident, bro, about a record or approaching one of us as a DJ about you have an assignment? You got to promote this record that you don't believe in. Look at Rob looking away. That you don't believe in. Did that happen?
You know what? It's just like how I feel about people's babies, right? Everybody baby to them is a cutie pie, but every baby ain't a cutie pie, right? But you can find beauty in every baby. So my job was to always find the beauty in a record that was weird, strange, different. I'll give you another classic event, and I'll give you another classic scenario. Shout out to DJ S&S. DJ S&S must have broke that LL Cool J Imagine That. Headsprung record like 4 times over his knee. He just couldn't hear it. And I told him, yo, you are going to break this record.
Right.
And between Miami and Cancun, DJ S&S played that record and it rung off. It rung off so crazy, it had Todd calling me, yo, what are you doing? I'm getting calls from Miami. I'm getting calls from Cancun. It was Headsprung and it was Fat Joe's Lean Back was the 2 records that came out of that Memorial Day weekend that was huge.
I'm going to talk about the Headsprung and I'm going to go into another record. So, Headsprung, before it became a record, stories are great, Rob. Stories, this should be called Behind the Stories. So,
now we're talking about records.
Yeah.
It's appropriate.
So, whatever year that came out, LO was still testing the record. And Doug had a show. We had a show. I wonder if Chill Will is in here because we definitely used to have a nice little laugh with this. And we had a show in Vegas. And we went on before Doug. Yeah, we did. Because we went on before Doug. And me, Doug, and Chill Will went out in the balcony to go and watch LO's show. And, brother, we never heard that record Headsprung. It wasn't out. And he said it to the crowd. Yo, I'm working on this new song. Yo, Rob. L performed Headsprung inside that place like 5 or 6 or 7 times, bro. Back to back to back to back. Just to print that inside the crowd's mind, bro. And I remember, and no one heard it. And I remember me and Will were like, yo, we were just done. Yo, how many times are you going to do this record out? Yo, and we were just like dying laughing, man. Like, yo, this dude is doing this record over and over and over. And look, man, shout to L. If you want a record to crack, that's what you got to do. Yo, Rob, forget your job. He's like, I'm going to be my own record promoter. Rob, he performed the record over, back to back, back to back. You ever see Chill Will or Dougie Fresh? Ask him, yo, Dee Wiz told him about this time, the first time when you guys in Vegas about L playing a record back to back. And speaking of back to back, piggybacking off of the S&S story, man, I learned, with your question about DJs, what I tell them, always be a fan. Always be a fan first. Because I'm still a fan of music and I'm a fan of my peer group. Even though I'm a part of the DJ community, I'm still a fan of the guys that, show great skill. And S&S is one of the guys that when I was like not coming up, I was already doing my thing, but I still had some learning to do, as far as playing in big clubs. Playing on the radio, as you know, Rob, is different than playing in clubs. As you know, totally different. And I came from the radio, Rob. Clubs wasn't the thing for me. I come from Hot 97. I come from the radio. So I remember being at Vertigo. Do you remember Vertigo, Rob, on 27th Street and 27th and West Side Highway? Right.
Absolutely.
I remember Vertigo, Sammy Z. Is that before your time, Rob? You was at Def Jam during Sammy Z time, right? Remember him as a
Absolutely.
promoter, Sammy Z? You would always
Absolutely.
hear his commercials on the radio. I used to DJ for Sammy Z over at Vertigo, and every now and then he would bring in guys like who was down with Big June and Craig G, DJ Craig G. Big June used to manage those guys, Craig G and SNS and whatnot, and S. Again, he would kind of like rock a lot of new stuff, that uptown stuff. And I would learn from him. I would watch. You know how S DJs rock. Yo, put it on us. And I learned that whole mic game. Again, Dougie Fresh, Hollywood. I'm watching SNS, Biz Markie. That's like my uncle. And again, he's coming from the MC game, applying that to this. So I saw SNS, and he told me and my man Malcolm, he said, I'm going to play this record. And it was the Benjamins. He said, I'm going to play this record 10 times. Rob, SNS played the Benjamins 10 times in Vertigo. And every time he played it, the crowd went crazier and crazier and crazier. And you have to have a certain skill to be able to do that. To stop the record, talk trash to the crowd, get them hyped up, and then move on with it. I learned so much, man, from all my DJ peers, man. I'm such a fan of music, bro. Yo, this shit is in me, Rob. I am such a fan of music. It's really in me. And I think that's what the people that I work for, I think that's what they see. This guy, the passion for music is really in him. It's real.
Okay, so just reading some of the comments, some people are saying that there's a lag in the broadcast. And you guys, Rashad Ringo Smith said there's a huge delay.
I see it.
Is there a circle or something like that? Is it buffering?
Nothing. No. And I mean, you and I are talking back and forth and answering each other's questions, in real time, right on the spot. So. All
right, let me.
Someone said turn down, Rob. You turn on your volume. Yeah, it's on your end, Rob. I'm reading it now. It says
hear me?
Rashad said, Rob, you may have to turn down your volume. It's feeding back. Yeah, it's on your end. I have headphones, so on my end, my speakers in my studio aren't playing at all. I have headphones on.
Okay.
So there's no feedback.
How about now?
Perfect.
How about now? Is everything okay?
Ask people.
It's not delay. It's feedback.
On your
Nothing y'all can do. It's an IG error. The doctor says it's an IG error.
Oh, she says nothing to do.
So Dr. Catrice Austin, can you put the stethoscope up to the IG right now and give us a reading?
Hey Doc, so tell us in the comments.
We need a prognosis.
Doc, tell us in the comments. Actually, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube and Twitch. Is there anything you guys are saying there's a delay? Can you hear our conversations well? Do the microphones sound well? Because you sound good to me, Rob. I hear you perfect. You hear me?
You know what they say at Rockefeller, right? Pause.
Nah, that's not a pause on that. You sound that's not a pause.
That's not a pause.
You sound man. That's not a pause.
Yo,
hey, look. So I'm gonna continue with some of the stuff that we were talking about. Now, let me tell you this. I learned this from Dr. Dre and Hot 97. Oh boy, Tracy. Do you remember Tracy Clarity at Hot 97, Rob?
The Ice Queen, of course.
Tracy Clarity. So this is something else for DJs. Wow. I learned so much from so many guys, man. Dr. Dre and Tracy Clarity taught me that you don't go heavy on anything. Denine's saying there's an echo on your side, Rob. You don't go heavy on anything. You don't do a heavy hip hop set. You don't do
I wasn't even saying anything.
Yeah, I'm reading it. It's all good. It's an echo. You don't do a heavy hip hop set. I learned you play 2 or 3 hip hop records back to back, and you break it up with the R&B record or 2 R&B records. You know, I learned that on Hot 97. I don't know about the programming on Hot 97 now, but in the early days, you wouldn't hear back to back 2 or 3. You wouldn't hear more than 3 rap records back to back in the 90s. And I know, see, Deneen, she knows, got to be radio friendly. I learned that from Tracy Clarity. Don't play too many rap records back to back. You got to break it up. And that, I think, is what helped out my Envy days, Rob, and my Prasad Brother days. Learning from, because as we know, we grow up liking what we like. But when you speak to the people that read Arbitron, the Steve Smiths, the Doc Winters.
Rest in peace to Steve Smith, too, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Those guys, the Tracys, the Mata, over at Power, when I was at Power, they read other things that we don't read. So when they're coming in and saying, you were one of the guys that was in the executive. Like, I'm a part of talent. You guys are coming in from the executive side, and you see how when we first got into the record pool conversation, you went straight to it, to data. You went straight to data. So, D, how does that translate to feedback? So what happens is in the playlist, and you went straight to data, bro. Because that's how you guys think, and that's important to feed us some of that data as well. And that's where I learned. I got my stripes from listening to my peer group, and also those early. I mean, you were there, Rob. Those early Hot 97 days, man. I feel as though, Rob, the way we listen to music today. I'm about to give like a big. The way we listen to music today, I think. The early days, the foundation of Hot 97 is responsible to that. Is responsible for the way we listen to music and consume it today. That's how I feel, man.
Why? Why do you feel that way? Why couldn't the dinosaurs just become extinct just because there was nothing else for them to eat?
Because when you look at, I'd say not just urban radio, right in the middle of the market. The programming of it. They take now everything and lump it all into one category, right? Before, it was top 40 music, rap music, rock music, pop music, disco music. Now, at the beginning of this conversation, what did I say? How did hip-hop start? The DJing playing all genres of music, all genres. So now we're back to what's called open format DJing, And that stuff, again, from my opinion, comes from listening to the early days of Hot 97. Now, check this out, Rob. As you know, there was no urban hip-hop DJ station prior to Hot 97. There wasn't any. We used to hear 10 o'clock on weekends, Fridays and Saturday. I would have to tape Chuck Chill Out, Red Alert, Jazzy J, Marley Marl, Latin Rascals. I would have to tape these guys only on weekends, so.
Mr. Magic, yeah.
Yeah. I said Marley Marl, which is incorporated in the same show, And so in the late 80s, I remember when Dre and Ed first got on Hot 97, I remember this was like a big deal for us. And remember, Rob, they were only playing like, a handful, sprinkled rap records here and there. And then it started to grow. All of these stations, Rob, do that today. So that's why I say Hot 97 is the foundation of the way we consume music today. Because they all now, the morning show has to be this, and they have mix shows that have, mix show jocks that do this. Bro, before Hot 97 was doing that, and again, you were there when it was being built. That wasn't around. It didn't exist. And now every urban station has to have that kind of format going on. Get my point? That's why I say
one thing that we that's clear and transparent, that if you constantly keep repeating, that's why LL kept playing Headsprung. If you constantly keep hitting at that frequency, or if you keep hearing that same song, even though you may not like it at first, you learn to like the record. And once you start hearing that record outside of that space in which you heard it from the radio, you go to the club and you hear it, or you hear it somebody bumping it in their car, you start to say, well, Dad, I don't want to be the left out guy, right? If everybody else is listening to it, I guess it's not that bad, and now I kind of like it because I've heard it so much. Shout out to my man Biz, DJ Biz International. Shout out to Tony Sunshine. Tony Sunshine, what up, my brother? Welcome
Biz.
behind the records. Lisa,
Biz with the same
Marie,
government name as me.
Music One. But you know what I wanted to ask you? So you've done radio, you've done clubs, and you've been a touring DJ for Salt and Pepper.
And others.
How have you, which one do you enjoy doing the most?
DJ Bourne asked me that. Spinderella's brother just asked me that last week or week before last. Wow. Rob, I like DJing for artists more than anything.
Why?
I do. Because I'm a music producer. I'm not a singer. I'm not a rapper. I'm a behind the scenes guy. Those drums, that person is behind the scenes. The DJ is the guy that's most likely back there or whatever. I like seeing the result. I like witnessing. I like watching, right? So when I would DJ for Salt and Pepper, when I'm on stage, I'm there as a fan also. I'm not just a participant. I would rather watch. I'm there doing what I'm doing just so the show can be completed. That's why I'm there participating in the show, just so it can be completed. However, I'm there as a fan still watching the show. So if it's only Dee Wiz, watching Dee Wiz in some club setting or whatever, I'll get it. Yeah, but I'd rather watch a group, do their thing, and I enjoy it. Even though I'm participating in it, I'm still kind of like stepping outside my body, and I'm going to the show just like you're going to the show. I remember one time Salt said to me, we were in Vegas, and we were filming actually for that VH1 show, and they had done a show, and I remember we were in a club. They had just finished the show, and I remember Salt, we were like upstairs, and she said, "Yo, how does it feel to?" She said, "How does it feel to have everyone, rock out to your arrangements and stuff like that or whatever, And I was like, "Yo, it's all good. Just watching people, participate and enjoy the stuff. That's my high, man. Just watching. And you know what? I will do this just so I can watch you. You know what I'm saying? I'm only doing that just to watch what's going to happen. That's all. I just want to watch. I enjoy watching people enjoy themselves, bro. I really do, Rob. So it's 100%, man. Me supporting another artist, that's where I really, really, really shine, bro.
Have you ever missed your mark as being the artist DJ?
You'd have to ask them that, but I'm sure I have. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yo, Rob! I'm like, hell no! You know what I'm saying? And then going, nah, remember that time, D? Nah, but if you ask me, honestly speaking, I put so much emphasis and so much pride, man, into what I do. Not as a DJ, back to stories. Oh, this is such a bad story, man. Boy. Remember Jay Holiday?
Of course.
Bed.
I'ma put you to bed,
Bed,
Yeah.
bed, bed. So, I don't only DJ, I play. And I have a band. I had a band back during that time, and my band backs up a lot of people, man. Melissa Morgan. I mean, just a lot of people, man. For some D's, so many people. And
Shout out to Kyle. I spoke to him earlier
oh
today.
yeah, you told him that about what we spoke about.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah, got to mention the humble beginnings, brother.
Yeah. So, so I'm in Atlanta actually right now, and Jay Holiday is from Atlanta, and we had gotten the assignment to do his show, and I was the MD of my band. I was the musical director. I put the band together. I have a pretty good way of communicating with other musicians. Not the best drummer on the planet Earth, but I could do my thing. And we rehearsed what was sent to us. And I'm sure a lot of musicians that will watch this will know, where I'm about to go. Because a lot of times when things are sent to you, that's not necessarily what you're going to play in the show, And they sent us the stems. They sent us exactly how the show was going to go. And my band and myself, we all learned it. He had his own MD, Chris Martin, incredible keyboard player. Oh, my God. Shout out to Chris Mott. And he flew up to New York to come and put everything together that they sent us. And it was one night right before the show. We had a show with Jay Holiday the very next day. And we're rehearsing in my house, which I had in my basement. I had a nice rehearsal space there. And he added a part to one of the songs that just wasn't there. And it was a part for me. It's a part I had to... is that Mint Condition? It was one of the Mint Condition songs. They wanted me to kind of like imitate those fills and bring them inside this Jay Holiday record, and put the hits in. And it was a big deal. And it was just like, it was really complex. It was complex. And we rehearsed it. We rehearsed it and rehearsed and rehearsed. And I felt comfortable with it. Went to BB King's. He had two shows in New York, one in BB King's and one somewhere else in Manhattan. And the first one was at BB King's, and I totally screwed it up, bro. Rob, when it came up to that point, I mean, I was so, I screwed up so bad, man. I just froze, and I remember all the musicians in my band. They were like looking, I'm the leader. I'm the oldest one. I'm the guy that's also like the Dee Wiz or whatever. So they have respect, the guys in my band. So they weren't going to put me on the spot or try to embarrass me. But I was like, oh, shit. At the end of that gig, my keyboard player, Jordan, told me, Rob, he told me he heard Jay Holiday in his dressing room dissing me. Yeah, Rob. He was like, yo, the drummer, man, he fucked it up, this, and the third, dissing me. And, he was right. I had to take it, Rob. I took it. Now, being that, so, I am, like you said, you don't know how to read music. I am a music reader. I don't play by ear. Of course I can. I mean, anyone can play by ear. That's a musician. We have two ears. But for me, I want charts. I want music notes, dictation.
Yeah.
What key is it in? What's the I need that. So I went home and I scored it. Yeah, bro. I went home and I scored it because remember, they just sending us just music and stems and stuff. I went home, bro, that same night and I scored the drum part. I should have scored it before that, but I know I learned then how I learn. You know what I'm saying? I scored the drum part, and once I scored, I saw what it was. Oh, okay, da-da-da. And the next day, I went in and nailed it. And I remember before the gig, I went to Jay Holiday, and I apologized. And I was like, yo, bro, that was my bad yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Yo, my bad. And I ain't gonna front, Rob. He was like, just brushing off, on some, what I consider, nonchalant punk tip. I was like, nah, bro. I actually physically I was like, nah. Come here. I was like, nah. That was my bad, bro. Like, I really felt so bad that I messed up his show. And to hear that he was dissing me in the dressing room at BB King's. So, and I remember when that part came up, and I nailed it, at the next show. Jay Holiday, during the show, he comes up while he's still singing, and, he's singing to me at the drums, and da-da-da, and we had gotten over our thing. But, yeah, that was a miss. That was a miss, Rob.
Wow.
That was a miss, bro.
Wow. So at least in that city, you didn't go. They didn't allow you to go to the after party. Felt that bad. It's like no bottles, no models.
Bro, man.
No, the drummer, give the drummer some. Nah, he can't have none. It's so punishment.
Oh man, yeah. And since then I score everything.
So
I score all my parts. Anything that someone gets, I'm scoring it.
So, speaking of scoring, tell us another story about something that you produced, that you've written, that we may not know.
Oh boy!
Without telling.
Yeah, there's a lot of records that are out there right now. So I'm really good friends with Arrested Development, the entire band. Speech lives here. I mean, all those guys, they all live down here in Atlanta. I met them, many years ago through, gigging and whatnot, and being that they're a band, they play instruments. We became really good friends, me and the group, the entire group. Shout out to JJ, the guitar player. I know everybody. So one of the singers, her name was Tasha LaRae. She went off and started doing her own house music, and on Beat Source, she's just like known as. For the last, I'd say, 5-6 years, she's in the top 10 every single year as far as top 10 house singers. I have a number of house records with her. I have some Salt and Pepper records, remixes that I've done. Salt, I'd say one of the biggest records that I have, the one that I'm really proud of that I have with them, because I have one also with Salt, a gospel record. Is a record called Big Girls that's out there. I fell in love with the record the minute I heard the lyrics. I heard them at Essence Music Fest for the first time, and fell in love with the lyrics the first time I heard them. I have a gospel record out with Salt where she's rapping on it, and some people from a church I used to go to wrote it and are singing on. Actually, I think Kiva wrote Gotta Make It. Yeah, right. My friend Kiva wrote. So I have a number. I mean, Rob, from gospel to hip hop to house. If you go and Google anything, on Spotify or on Apple Music, you're gonna come across some Dee Wiz music on there. The hip hop stuff, like I said, is more Salt and Pepper based. But I love house music because I get a chance to really express myself, and my band, they get a chance to express themselves as well. I have a lot of other things, a lot of other music that's on its way coming out as well. A lot of unreleased things from artists that trust me, they come to my studio and they record with me, and I have music and records, Rob, that make me appreciate being who I am and having relationships with people. Because in order for someone to come to your house, Rob, you're in the music business. For someone to sing off key, trying to figure out, their records in front of you, to make mistakes in front of you, and then not leave with them and say, hey, here, you work on that, or you keep that, or whatever. And they're a well-known artist. They have to trust you. And that's something that I take seriously, bro. Trust, and making sure that any artist I work with, they have to trust, man. Trust is a big deal. That's why I want to bring, I'm still a fan, no matter what. I'm a fan. I'm at the show with you.
So explain Dee Wiz. Explain what is how did you come up with the name? Why does the world call you Dee Wiz, and what type of wizardry you practice?
Wizardry, none. you know,
Hold on, wait a minute, man. I want to follow the yellow brick road to see the Wiz, and I'm talking to Dee Wiz.
right.
Like, change my life right now. What gems can you give me or give the audience that can? And look, Dr. Catrice Austin says Dee Wiz does it all.
You know,
So
boy,
share some wizardry with us.
well, music. I feel as though I think music is like a symbol of God. When you think of like source energy, or you think of what people call the creator, or people call the force or whatever, these things are things that you just don't see but you feel. You know what I'm saying? Um, I can sit here and I can cut it on. I could sit here and I could play some music, right? And you don't see the music. Like nothing is physically coming out of here that I could see it. You hear what's coming out of here. You don't there's nothing that you physically see. I can cut on my television and you physically see images. My phone, I'm looking at you. I physically see this. This is physical. I physically see this. However, when it comes to this thing, there's something that's going on that I don't see what's happening. Something's happening. I don't see it. I feel it. I don't understand it. I just know I feel it. Something is happening. And that's one of the reasons why I say it's like close to God. Now, music makes you laugh. Music makes you cry. Music makes you think. Music makes you love someone. Music is a soundtrack like to my life. So anytime I'm listening to something, Rob, like into detail, bro, like it's always gonna have like a special place. Yeah, I remember when this came out, I was such and such or whatever. There's a soundtrack to it. Now I always try to tell people like how to listen to music also. Inside music, now I'm gonna take this probably on in like an egghead nerdy kind of area. So you have words, you have melody, you have rhythm. Words are just, I could just write anything down here. It's poetry. There's no music to it. There's none. It's just words. Greatest Love of All by Whitney Houston or written by Dolly Parton. Like it's just words, So that's the first part. Adding that melody to those words is also another part, and we're going to talk about in a second. And then you have the rhythm. And inside that rhythm, you have, melody, harmony, strings, piano, all kind of other music outside of words and melody. So what I try to encourage people to do when they listen to music is to try to separate it. Separate listening to background vocals only. Listen to lead vocals only. Then go back and listen to the same song. Just tune out all the vocals and just enjoy just the music. Then take out everything, all that out, and just listen to what they're saying. Don't even concentrate now on the music. Now it's about, well, what is the song about? And, again, that's why I music is like the soundtrack to my life, because all of those areas, those are deep areas, Rob, when it comes to music, man. Those are deep areas. To break down, so for example, like Faith Evans is one of my favorite vocalists. Why not singer? I'm saying, but vocalist, because her stacking of vocals are done like probably none other, right? So when I would go and listen to her 90s work, I would have to listen to like one song at least like 8, 9, or 10 times just to get everything that's going on, in it. Because again, remember, when you listen to lead vocals, bro, you listen to lead vocals and all of those ad-libs from the beginning of the song to the end. And when you listen to lead vocals, you're tuning out the background vocals totally. So you don't even know what's going on. You're focusing only in on lead. And then your second pass, now I just want to listen to only background vocals, because when you listen to background vocals, all of those harmonies are starting to come to life to you. Like, wow, I didn't hear that harmony before. And then when the bridge comes, how it changes key. Now, wow, they're going into different harmonies here, and then they come out like all of that stuff right there, bro. That stuff is where the meat, the good shit is, Rob. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's what a trained ear though. Like the normal consumption is the beat sounds good, and I like what they're talking about. You know what I mean?
That's why
Like
I call it God.
that is a very the way you just describe it is a very technical approach to listening to music, right? And most people just don't hear it that way. They just like, oh, I like the beat, or I like the fact that I like the hook,
They don't
right?
know why they like it.
You
But the,
know,
the technical stuff is what makes you like it.
only if you understand the technology, right?
No, the
Because if you
technical
don't really
stuff.
understand,
Okay, if
you
you
know,
didn't have, if you didn't have all of that stuff going on, the people that did that, just the fans, they wouldn't be there because it's that what makes it that, what makes you like it. A chocolate cake is a chocolate cake with all this stuff together. Go and eat flour by itself, Rob. You know what I'm saying? Flour is inside a chocolate cake. It's
no one would
inside
do
it.
that.
Exactly.
No one would do that. No one
Right.
would do that at all.
Right. But the
But it's just, you
baker,
know what? It's
all
really
you
just
know is you like the chocolate cake, right? That's all you know. You like the chocolate cake. But the baker, the chef, is the one, he knows all of that other stuff that I just broke down to you. All of it. You're not gonna
like
eat, but and you,
like
but you're eating flour when you eat the cake.
as it relates to a culinary comparative analysis.
Yeah,
I don't like sour cream,
I hate it.
but sour cream is mixed into a lot of different things,
I hate it. Right.
right? So if I see you make a dish and I see you take sour cream and put it in it, I'm gonna refuse to eat that. Only because, and I probably would have ate it if I didn't see you put it in
Right.
there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the
But
simple fact that I know that the sour cream went in there, I don't want to eat it.
the reason why I brought up the chocolate cake is because, as you said, the consumer doesn't look at music that way. They don't have to know all the stuff I'm talking about, but they know that the cake tastes good. They're not eating flour by itself, but the chef knows how much flour to put in that cake so the consumer will like it. The producer knows, the songwriter knows what to do so the consumer does like it.
Shout out to S1 Events. Shout out to DJ. Shout out to Kobe Cole. Shout out to Steve Pammon that's in here. Two Divas for you. Salute to you. We're on Behind the Records. We're talking with the great DJ Dee Wiz, um, uh, music aficionado, musician, DJ, lifetime friend of mine, of ours, I would say. So Dee, let me ask you a couple of very specific questions. And congratulations too for Salt and Pepper getting their hall and all their
Oh yeah,
accolades,
very dope.
and you being a part of that process. And of course, Spinderella's contributions to that process. How does it make you feel that you constantly surround yourself around people that have that elevated energy? Like, how important is energy to you? You know what I'm saying? Not just as a curator of music, but as a person. Like what is your, like, do you feel uh, uh, do you always try to create a positive environment? Like, how do you feel about energy?
Energy, for me, Rob, is creme de la creme. It's number one. It's numero uno. It's number one, bro. I'm a vibes guy, bro. You know, Rob. I'm also, to my, I guess, detriment, I'm an empath as well. And that could be, that hurts sometimes, being an empath. So, vibes, like when I first started talking about my relationship with like Dougie Fresh, I said to you, when you meet certain people, you just know there's a connection there. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can't explain it. I can feel it. You know. I feel as though, Rob, that we all are connected. We all are earthlings. Um, I can't, I can't articulate how, uh, in scientific jargon, I can't articulate that, but I know I can feel it, and I know others can feel it when you meet someone. Just as a sense, there's a sense, and all of the people that I've ever worked with on a long term basis, I know there's a connection there outside of music, and that's what you asked me. Outside of music, uh, me, Dougie Fresh, great friends. He's been there for my son when my son was uh, going through a big challenge outside of this country, and he physically paid to get certain things done. Uh, People like Salt, you know, uh, there's a connection there. You know, John B said to me, he was like, "Yo, bro, I feel like you're my musical twin." You know, now like this guy has been, just like a babyface protege. You know, there's a connection there. There's something there when you meet someone, when you just know you can't explain it. And you know what, Rob? And I'm saying this to people before we even get off. Don't even try to explain some of these things. You know, I don't think that there's some things in this lifetime I or you or a lot of people will be able to articulate in this time. And we try our best to. I just don't think you can articulate some things. You know, when that word like intuition, again, like I call it music God, I put that word and I replace that word with God as well. I feel as though, Rob, that we are beings that are connected. I can't give it to you in words and articulate it. Something I just know that I feel. And I think music is one of the ways that we are, because it's something that's unseen as well. You get where I'm coming from, Rob?
No, no,
Um,
absolutely. It's a vibration. You feel safe or danger, right? In any encounter, right? You're gonna feel safety or danger, right? If you feel danger, you're gonna move away from it fast as possible. So it's not gonna even have the opportunity to embed itself into your space, right? If you feel safe, you stay longer, right? And the longer you stay, the more you discover about people, about their energy, about their vibrations, about their likes or dislikes, right? And if you're in a space where it feels safe, but then something goes wrong, you know how to pivot, right? You know how to resolve whatever the issues are, right? Case in point, the Carl Thomas incident where his record didn't get played,
right,
right? Case in point, the Jay Holiday
yeah,
experience with with the drumming being off,
right,
right?
right,
But you felt so passionate about your purpose in that moment and being a part of that process that you apologized for that, and not only just apologized and swept it under the rug, you went back and did the due diligence to understand that you had to score.
yeah. I had to.
So the next night, you will be so on point that you will make him turn his head
Right. You
and
know,
forget the mishap.
you know, um, and that happens, Rob. That's a repeated theme in my music journey. One thing that I think that I get misunderstood for sometimes when I may go through a communication thing with a client or someone I'm working with, uh, deeply with in music, passion. When I work with people, I'm more of the fan of them than they think I am, So when everyone will describe Dee Wiz passion, 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 right? So when I'm putting myself online, I realize and know there's not a lot of people that are like that are built, that will go literally all out. You know, I remember one time Doug said to me, he was like, "Yo, D, leave a little bit for yourself." You know, because I don't, Rob. I put it all on the table, man. Um, when I was on tour with Salt and Pepper, many times I've been on tour. I've never said my name ever on a microphone, and I've gotten, a bad rap, by for other stuff, for Dee Wiz, trying to take over, Dee Wiz, whatever. I've never ever said my name, not one time, ever on the stage with them because I'm a part of the crowd. I'm there. I would do a DJ set, right? At the end of the DJ set, I would never say you D with da, da, da. I always say, "Hey, give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Salt and Pepper." After every
Absolutely.
huh?
You know what I call that? I call that understanding and playing your position, right?
Speak on it.
And that's key. You know what I
You
mean?
know
Because
that.
there was another DJ before you, and there
Period.
was another DJ before her. Like, what I'm saying? So, when you in a situation like that, you have to know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're such a nice guy, right? How do you handle someone that excited about you listening to their record and you hear their record and this is absolutely nothing there? How do you how do you handle that? Do you tell them straight up, like, yo, I'm gonna be completely honest,
No.
that's just not it, or it just doesn't work for me? Like, how do you handle the tough conversation to say, one, that's not right, two, it don't work for me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you handle having to have that tough conversation?
I redirect them. I redirect them, bro. They're focused on this big record, this whatever. I just show them other influences. Hey, what were you trying to achieve with this? Yo, this da da da. I will redirect them to some other musical influence, something that I think is in that area, or something that I think that they may need. There's a piece that they're missing. There's a piece of something. It may be on how to talk to a Rob Love. It may be on how to approach a DJ. It's something that they're missing. There's something that they're missing, and I'm gonna tell them that. I'm gonna redirect them. And if it's musically related with a record or a song, whatever, I'll redirect them. I'll give an example, like dog training, for example, right? Uh, Dog is going to go and, eat this or start biting this, right? This is a great example. Instead of telling him no, 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 you take something else that he's interested in that's not, that you don't want him to bite or chew on. You say, hey, Max, or hey, King, or whomever, hey, check this out, hey, da, 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 da. And now his focus is redirected from this. Now it's on this. Same thing with music. I'll take them and I'll redirect their focus, you know what I'm saying, to something that I think is more beneficial to what they're trying to accomplish.
So, who's your favorite artist of all time, and who's your favorite, uh, I would say, hip hop artist and R&B artist?
Stevie Wonder is my all-time. Shout out to my man Fenton. Shout, much love to my man Fenton. I see him on a check-in. Stevie Wonder, 100% is my favorite songwriter, musician. Not the best musician, but my favorite musician. Not singer, but songwriter. Or if you were ask me a one package all around, Stevie Wonder, 100%, bro. Yeah. Stevie Wonder. What was your second question?
Female R&B artist.
Female R&B?
Hmm.
That's tough. My favorite. Okay, Whitney Houston is the greatest voice of all time, in my opinion. Okay, so if you're gonna ask me about, singing, not making records, and I know you know the difference. Singing, Whitney Houston is my favorite female singer. I have a question for you, since I'm there, before we sign out, and I'll
Okay.
put you on the spot. So,
Rapper. Don't leave out rapper. Who's your favorite rapper of all time?
Nas. Nas and Karis won without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, I don't know which one out of those two. I mean, Nas and Karis one is, yeah. They talk to me. Those guys talk to me. You know, people talk about the King's Disease album, but when you guys, if you watch it, he has this album, and my man Fenton will tell you, it's called Magic. It's an album that came out like, was it last year? I think last year. No, I think it came out 2021. Yeah, Nas is him and Karis One. That's my favorite hip hop artist, bro. Without a shadow of a doubt. Oof.
Okay. All right, and ask me your question before you forget it.
Where was I at when I was gonna ask my question? Where in that conversation was I?
We
it slipped my
was
mind.
talking about female R&B. You said Whitney Houston.
Okay. So, oh boy. So last week, it was on social media. Shaka Khan was trending. Are you familiar with where I'm about to go? So she was trending. And she was trending because she said, her words. She said, Mary J. Blige fucked up. This is her words. Sweet Thing. This is her words. So, oh yeah, she fucked up the song. Do you think Shaka would have said those same words about Whitney Houston's cover of her record for I'm Every Woman?
Well, in my opinion.
Yes or no? Do you think she would say that?
No. No, I don't think that she would say that.
No. She's on the background vocals on that record, bro. That's how proud she is of Whitney's performance on I'm Every Woman. She's on the background vocals of that record, bro.
I mean, okay, so but that answers the question.
Yeah. No, I was asking you. I mean, how Shaka feels. Yeah, I was asking.
No, yeah. So me, like, I look at Whitney and Mary in two different categories.
Of course.
As vocalists.
Of course. Of course. One's here, like, of course.
So Mary has a very bespoke style, and Mary's strongest elements come from pain, right? The Happy records, until Good Morning Gorgeous, hasn't really been the sweet spot for her.
I ain't talking about records, I'm talking about singing.
I mean, you can't compare the scales. They're on two different octaves. Like, you can only compare Whitney and Mariah octave-wise, right?
I'm talking about singing. I'm not talking about singing, bro. Singing. Right now, in this room, right now. Right now. No music. Singing. That's it.
It's apples and oranges. You can't compare the two.
Yes, you can.
How?
Tell them both to sing back to back and say who sings better. Of course you could. That's how you compare.
Yeah, but you're going to get...
You sing this song, you sing the same exact song.
Mary cannot hit the octaves that...
That's right.
Whitney Houston can.
That's right. And don't say that Whitney can't do what Mary can do. Don't say that.
I would never say that Whitney couldn't do what
right.
Mary can. When you got a person that got a bandwidth, a range, they can go high, low, and they can vary, right? But when you got a person that has a variety and knows, like Mary has a sound. She has a Mary sound, right? I don't think she could hold a note longer than Whitney could.
I'm talking about quality of voice and being on key. I'm talking about if I play, this is singing, man. I play, you sing in key. Like, that's singing. I'm not talking about making records. This is singing right here. This is it. Me and you, let's go. I ain't talking about pain. Sing the ABCs. Pick a song. Sing the Simpsons. Any song you want to sing, it don't matter.
Their vocal abilities.
That's how you compare singing, bro.
Their vocal abilities are not comparable.
Agreed. That's why I asked you, do you think Shaka would say the same thing about
No,
Whitney
not,
that
not,
she
not at
said about
all.
Mary. That's why I asked you that.
She might have just said that, baby, Nippy, you had a bad session.
She said she
That'd have
fucked
been
up the
it.
song. Right. She was like, man, she killed her. Yeah, I see my man Fenton said Whitney Houston, Whitney is the greatest voice of all time. And I actually do agree with that, male or female. I do. Male and I think Luther's see, we're talking about voice texture. Stevie Wonder can sing, but the texture of his voice is not the texture of like a Luther Vandross. You come from the era. Remember Bob Ross? Remember the just like this. The texture of that dude's voice. He's not a singer, Rob, but the texture of his voice is soothing. Like you was a little kid. We were little kids. We would watch him and just like that little crowd, them clouds over here, and it was just soothing. Has nothing to do with singing capability. Whitney's the texture of her voice. It's soothing. It's powerful as well. The quality. Patti LaBelle, incredible singer, can do all that acrobatic shit. But the texture of her voice, it's a little thin. She's got that thin first soprano thing going on, sometime a little nasally or whatever. The texture of her voice is a different texture than a Whitney, a Jennifer Hudson, and those styles of voices. Those are different textures of voices. Like you said, yeah, D, you're getting into some other shit, but that's what makes them who they are.
So let me ask you this. So with all of the touring that's about to come up, New Editions on tour, Legends of Street Rap on tour, all these tours that are going out. Erykah Badu's about to go on tour. Like, who are you excited to see, if anyone?
I think New Edition, man, always does an incredible show, man. Out of the people that you just mentioned, I probably, them. The young lady, the dentist that's on right now inside the comments section. I mean, man, we've seen New Edition, Rob. Let me tell you something. New Edition is probably the only group that has all original members still alive and still performing with them. Yeah. All original. I mean, when they say day one, they got them all there still, man. All the day one dudes are with them. And a dude like Johnny Good that picked up on the way, their day ones are still there. You tell me who else got that, man. Yo, I'll wait. It's heavy. And shout to my man DJ Shot Kim, their DJ. My boy, fantastic. Like, New Edition, I think they have one of the hottest shows out there. It's so, Rob, look at the catalog. You're talking 3 decades of different variations of New Edition also, right? You're talking the day one New Edition. You're talking the Johnny Gill New Edition. You're talking the Bad Boy New Edition, which is that was without Ralph Tresvant. Remember the Bad Boy New Edition? There's so many versions of New Edition. Now, I'm not getting into the solo stuff when they bring that out and when they bring out the BBD stuff. So I'm only talking the group right now, bro, because they do bring all that solo stuff into the show as well. So out of everyone you just mentioned, who's going to top that? Original members. By the way.
What rock group are you excited to see?
Kiss is on tour. They're on their farewell tour right now. I saw them on their farewell tour before the pandemic at Madison Square Garden. I went with a bunch of friends from LPR, from LPR on Bleecker Street, Le Poison Rouge. I was DJing there every Saturday with this 80s band called Jesse's Girl. So I went and saw them on their farewell tour, and pandemic started, and then it stopped everything. So they they picked up the tour and they're gonna end it at Madison Square Garden, and where they started. You know, they're a New York-based band, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But New
So
Edition, man, like
so
that's a performing group, bro.
so there's a lot of talk about R. Kelly and R. Kelly being treated unfair, and Elvis Presley did, you know, just as much damage as R. Kelly did, allegedly. How do you feel about? Um, do you feel in the music business that um, that we are treated by a different level of standard than our white counterparts?
Yeah,
You as a musician, me as an executive. Do you feel that there's two set of rules? There's a rule for us and then a rule for them.
100%. Yeah, 100%. 100%. You know, I'm angry at R. Kelly, bro. I'm angry that, that he got himself involved in a situation like this, because my conversation with you tonight about music, he would have been a really big part of this, Rob. You know, if that guy would have continued doing music all of these years he's been behind bars and he didn't have the stuff, and just take away this, this conversation would have been a different conversation, bro. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly influenced hip hop and R&B. Not like he ran it. Yeah, it would be a different conversation. He's favorite artist. Yeah, he's up there, man. He's up there. As talent and skills wise, bro. He's up there, way up there. I mean, I get crucified for saying this, man, but I'm talking about Quincy Jones level and above, bro. He's, yeah. I think R. Kelly can do. He's there. He's there with the Quincy Jones. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you have any other questions for me that you would like to ask? We've been knowing each other, and we've had this DJ executive record label relationship for years. And I want to also, a good friend of mine, Ernie, has a new Long Island Hall of Fame building facility out there, and I think it's in Westbury, actually.
Right.
And I've been talking to him and Todd Shapiro about doing something out there.
Right.
And in fact, I had invited Harris Smith and Granddaddy IU to go to the ribbon cutting ceremony at the Hall of Fame in Long Island. And Granddaddy IU had told me that he couldn't make it. He wasn't feeling well. Then a couple of days later, he passed. And I had the opportunity to have him on Behind the Records and talk to him.
Right.
And man, we laughed. We talked about Cold Chillin' Records and all the records that he wrote, and we just had a great conversation. And you guys that are listening, if you want to go and check it out, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can check out the playback. And moving forward with Behind the Records, guys, I tell this story, and I have to tell it every time that I do this show. If you look at the icon, if you follow Behind the Records right there, that's pinned in the comments, you'll see a tall, distinguished gentleman that's with two ladies at the bar with champagne, and his name is Wes Party Johnson. He was truly the guy behind the records, and he was the guy that made sure that hip hop and R&B got on the radio nationwide. So he's been a mentor to me, both in physical presence as well as heavenly presence, and I'll never let the world forget who Wes Party Johnson was to the culture. And there's so many different hidden figures that has made contributions to what we know as music today. And another person that I have to acknowledge is Ruth Brown, who is the late great Ruth Brown, who's the president and founder of the Rhythm and Blues Foundation, which they do a lot for music artists. silently, whether they're going through, healthcare issues or financial challenges. That's a foundation that was put in place by a black woman from Portsmouth, Virginia, named Ruth Brown. And if you study your music theory and your music history, you know that Ahmet and those guys, from Atlantic Records, consider Atlantic Records the house that Ruth built, Ruth Brown. So that's a little tidbit of information for you historians that want to dig deeper and really understand the power and the strength of a woman. Since we're in Women History Month,
right?
I have to acknowledge, the queen of R&B.
Dope. Rob, man, thanks for having me, bro. I hope you have me again, man, so we can have a part 2, and there'll be more to talk about. Every day is a new music adventure, and that's how I see life.
Absolutely. And Dee, I really appreciate your contributions, not only just to the culture, but how you were continuing to this day to push the culture forward, and and no man is no man can do anything great by itself.
Right.
It's always the people that share the vision and that want to see you win.
Right.
By me being on Skype and Facebook right now, it's because of you and your seeing value in what it is that I'm doing,
right.
And say, hey, you know what? I want to help out as much as I can, and I want to be able to. More people need to hear this goodness.
Right. Yeah, man. And that being said, man, so I guess this will be, as I'm signing off now, this will be, and you'll probably continue, this will be one of the future things that you got going on coming up on YouTube soon. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I do highly recommend everyone to subscribe to the YouTube channel Behind the Records. It's youtube.com/Rob Love Launchpad. You can check the link in my bio, the link tree. It'll take you right there. Take some time, and get to. We're going to formulate it right, so it's going to be really easy for you to view it, and for you to get familiar with some of these amazing guests and these amazing conversations. And who knows, there may be something in there, a gem that you can use to make a ring, a necklace, a toe ring, or
right.
tennis bracelet, or a crown, or whatever. However you want to rock it. You want to put some gems on your teeth. Dr. Catrice Austin can help you out with that as well. So I really appreciate you guys, indulging me in this fashion. I've been, and Dee can tell you, I've been the guy that's been behind the scenes and been quiet, and I've been the guy that's been in the DJ booth with the artists, trying to create exposure for a new artist or a new record, and never was the guy that was always boasting and bragging and I've done this and this. My work speaks for itself. I don't have to say.
That's very true.
So I live off reputation and I stand on it. So thank you so much. Thank you, Cherry Web Image. Rothstein Beats, what up? So we're gonna go out on Rothstein Beat. Shout out to all my Norfolk State family that always tune in every week. I really love and honor and respect you guys, Spartans for life. You know how we do. And we're going to end it on some Rothstein Beats.
There we go.
Dee Wiz!
Thanks, bro.
So I'm going to have some new artists that's going to come up here. We have some people that's in the chat right now. Look for this new record called Papa Life by Jatan. J1, what up, J1? What up, J1? J1's right there. He just joined. Man, J1 is real big on the soul southern circuit. You got to check him out. He's going out on tour right now. If you know anything about Tucker, you know anything about J1, you got to tap in, brother. There's a whole lot of music out there that's happening. And thank you, Fintona Joseph. I really appreciate your comments and your engagement. And people, share this. Tell a friend to tune in every Thursday. We're gonna have guests on here that you're not gonna believe. As soon as I can, as soon as we get together and work out this frame where we can, we can get all these platforms popping, you're not gonna believe who's gonna come on this show. I'm telling you. You're gonna pinch yourself. You ain't gonna believe it. So thank you guys for all the guys that bought badges. I really appreciate the support. Tell a friend. Tune in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me and follow Behind the Records and follow Dee Wiz.
Peace, y'all.
Peace and blessings. Thank you, bro.